Okay.
Okay, what?
Do you want to get to this now?
Get to what?
Why you're holding your chin up?
Because my neck muscles aren't strong enough to do it? Sure. Let's go ahead.
This is what everyone's tuning in for. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. You can set the scene. I feel like you were in the car.
I was. I mean, we were myself, Chase, and the 17 were on fresh tires. We were coming to the end of the stage. There was about 15 laps left in the stage, and I felt pretty good about making some ground. The 9 car was struggling. He didn't have a very good car all day. Obviously, I had time to kind of go back and watch some of the race while I was sitting in the bus while the race was still going on. And, yeah, I think, I was in a position where I was trying to make a move on him. It's the same mistake that we see week in, week out on these mile and a halves where, I mean, again, what I love about this is that it's the same people that are like, Chastain said he left them just one lane. Well, I mean, there was a gap between me and the 9. I didn't hit the 9. He hit the wall. I squeezed him up there, no question about it. You could see fire coming out of my car. You could see telemetry. I'm slamming on the brakes to try to stop and get off of him to not make contact. But ultimately, he made contact with the wall because I forced him up there and then threw a hissy fit. And, he was having a day anyway, in his opinion. And he threw a little temper tantrum and decided to hook a left on us down the straightaway. And not only straightaway, but the dog leg. Like, I hit head on, not sideways. Like, the worst part of the racetrack that I could possibly hit. So, I don't know. We've seen this. I've seen this with him in the past. When he got pissed off when Larson kind of drove him up in the fence at California. Larson's leading the race at the end. He intentionally caused a caution there, trying to screw Larson over, his teammate. And then when Harvick and him got into it, he came in. Where's Harvick? I'm going to help my teammate out. Blocked Harvick so Kyle Larson could win. Like, this is just this is bullshit. And so there's no explanation that he could possibly give, which he didn't, of reason for hanging a left. He obviously didn't want to admit it. He did I can't hear you, sorry. And then, sorry, I can't hear what you're saying, but yeah, my car just couldn't drive it. Bullshit. The wheels were dead straight. Even after we crashed and, destroyed our he goes down the back straightaway, and you look at both tires, front tires are pointed the correct direction. And I pointed out in the data that I tweeted that once he got into the wall, there was nothing wrong with his car. He's turned the wheel back straight like he was going down the straightaway, and you can tell by data whether you've got toe link damage or not. So you can tell that basically if your line is skewed one direction or another where you have to turn it left, turn it right, whether you've been a toe link or done significant damage. For God's sakes, Tyler Reddick pounded the wall twice as hard as he did and didn't hurt his car. Everyone hits the wall. But he threw a hissy fit, and he just hung a left on us in the most dangerous part of the racetrack that you possibly could. And it ended my day and his, and in my opinion, he shouldn't be racing next weekend because NASCAR set a precedent last year on this. If you want to quote Steve O'Donnell, he says, when they asked why did they suspend Bubba Wallace, he says, our actions were really specific to what took place on the racetrack, and we look at it on how that incident occurred. In our minds, that was a dangerous act. We thought that it was an intentional and it put other competitors at risk. And by the way, as the car owner of Bubba Wallace, that was bull too. I agreed with it. That's why I look at all the comments. I said it was bull. Like, that is just so immature to right rear hook someone. It's just childish, and it just pisses me off because, you got to be better than that. I don't give a shit. Like, what goes on in your head to think that that's the right move to make? I don't know it.
So you tweeted out the SMT data afterwards. Why did you choose to do that?
So they're looking and they're like, well, his car obviously must have been broke. He would never do that. Well, why? Is he not before? I mean, I've given you instances where he's lashed out being like a kid. So It's agitating the shit to me. I'm the one holding my head up here. Again, I look at Chase Elliott made comments May 1st about how unsafe he felt the cars were. But yet you think that's okay. I just don't, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And okay, let's go keyboard warriors as Mike Joy says, well, you fenced Chastain. Yeah, I rubbed them against the wall. Didn't involve anybody else. Didn't even take him out. Didn't cause not a bit of damage to his car. Right rear hooking someone at 180 at Charlotte in the dog leg is not the same. So don't come at me with that. I don't want to hear it.
Have you spoken to him, or were you in the infield care center at the same time?
No, I was so mad, and you can hear I'm mad. I'm really, really mad now. I couldn't see straight. I didn't think I would pass my concussion test because I'm like, I can't see straight. I am so on fire. If he walks through that door, I don't know. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna take a swing. If I get my ass whooped, I get my ass whooped. But I don't care because that was just absolutely wrong in every single way. It's wrong, and so NASCAR needs to do the right thing and be consistent here. You know, I've gotten the shit in of a ton of calls of these balls and strike calls. It's time to make the right call. There's no excuse that you can give. He was going dead straight, and all of a sudden takes a hard left 120 degrees with the steering wheel. That is not an accident. It's intentional.
In your mind, is the right call matching the suspension that Bubba had from Vegas, or is it maybe one-upping that now? Because I feel like, you know, this is 2 times the second time a driver has right hooked someone.
It unfortunately, other series see this, right? And we've seen this in other series. I hate to say it, Carson Hocevar, you know, the kid's got a ton of talent. He did that to someone at IRP, and
that's what I'm saying.
Noah Gragson did it. You know, he took out a bunch of cars somewhere, but we got to stop it. And if the one race suspension of Bubba didn't get his attention, well, fine, do it more. I don't care, but they need to do. If they do nothing, we're having an emergency episode. That's a fact. And I'm going to bring up all the instances that has incurred a big penalty, because, you know, I'm not sitting here crying wolf because, I just want to see him, you know, struggle. I don't give a shit where he is in points. It's wrong. Do what's right.
For what it's worth, NASCAR did say they are going to take a look at this in the next 24 hours. So if this podcast comes out on Monday, I anticipate that there'll be a ruling of some sort come Tuesday. Correct?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm ready to move on.